Hello, and welcome to the Million Dollar Electrician Podcast, where we help home service pros like you supercharge your business and spark up those sales.
I'm Joseph Lucani, and together with my co-host, Clay Newmeyer, we're here to share the secrets that have helped electricians sell over $1 million from a single service van.
Now, it's time for sales. It's time for scale. It's time to become $1 million electrician. Hello, Joseph, and hello, you guys. Welcome back to another episode of the $1 Million Electrician. I am pumped to be here today, Joe. How are you and the fam doing?
I am feeling it, man. I gotta admit, fighting a cold, but honestly, checking into the podcast, it just gives me energy. Like, I love being here. I love serving. So honestly, plague be damned. We're going full steam ahead, full send.
Awesome, man. I love that. And you guys, if you're with us, wherever you're watching, wherever you're listening, do know this. Joe doesn't even know the topic of this one. I'm going to surprise him. I'm going to surprise you guys, but I'm about to unveil it right now. There's something I've wanted to talk to you guys about for a while. Do I have your ear, Joe?
I mean, literally, yeah, I'm on a full blind. Go for it.
We've been known for giving it all away, as they say, kind of like Hormozy style. You know what? We want you to take these strategies, run with it, and win at the highest level. And yesterday was one of those challenging days for, I think, a lot of us. I don't know if the moon's in a certain cycle or what's going on, but it doesn't seem to be just you or me, Joe. There was just some stuff going on yesterday in the world. And yesterday just had that feeling, it was a hard day. So today, what I wanted to go through with you guys was how to coach your damn selves, how to
All
solve
right.
these problems, where to look, and how to take a dark cloud and turn it into something manageable that you can get through and get back on top of that horse and ride this thing out. That sound fair?
I'm here for it. I think this is going to be a phenomenal topic because at the end of the day, if you can't control yourself or you can't monitor or improve yourself, or at least recognize what's triggering you, your team is going to feel it. Your customers are going to feel it. Your spouse, your children, everyone's going to come in contact with you is going to recognize that. So one step at a time, better line it up. Let's make it happen.
100%. And if you've been with us for a while, then you've heard us say this before: health, family, then business. Why do we say that, Joe?
Well, the thing is that you need your health. I think the expression is find a man who has a million things. How did it go? It's like find a man who has his health and you'll have someone who doesn't want anything. But if you find someone who has everything and doesn't have his health, all they want is one thing.
Let me fix that.
Yeah.
A man with his health has a million desires. A man without health has but one.
Exactly. So the logic behind that is that if you don't have your health, it's not only going to affect everything in your performance, but it affects everything, including your perspective. Like when you're not well, your ability of viewing reality becomes almost filtered or skewed in a way. So you need your health in order to be able to recognize the changes that are necessary to be made.
Absolutely. Simply put, if your health isn't well, how's your family going to do?
Not going to do very well at all. They're going to have to carry more burden to keep you upright.
And if your family's not well, how's your business going to do?
Well, honestly, my family is my number one priority. So if my family is not good, my business is 100% going to suffer for it.
And so if for any period of time you are not so much running your business as your business is running you, or the weight of being the family man, the husband, the father, and all of that starts running you, well, then what happens then?
Honestly, it just ends up being a snowball effect because if your health isn't good and your family suffers, that's another issue. But then eventually it comes back to your business and your business not being good, then cycles back to health because you're going to have to do the later nights. You're going to have to do the earlier mornings. And then you're also less present with your family, which then affects your business. So it's this constant feedback loop. But if I can also say it works in the opposite as well. If you focus on your health, your family then improves. And by focusing on your family, you can go to work on a better mindset with a better sense of happiness, which then is translated to your employees and to your customers. And then the success you get from those things then feeds to your health. So it's both something that kills you and saves you, depending on what you're willing to apply yourself to.
Yeah. And I personally feel that entrepreneurship is like synonymous with a sponge. You're having to sponge up everything, all the messes, all the weight of everything that you endeavor to do and your team does and that your clients feel. You have to also feel that. And that weight can really bring a person down and Or, like you said, Joe, it can also lift you up. And that's why so many of us are addicted to this chaotic journey, right? Have you ever heard this expression, entrepreneurs are addicted to chaos?
It's an unfortunate reality. I mean, it's a situation where it seems like an illogical conversation. Hey, I got into business to have more time and more money. And yet, when we get into business at the beginning, it's we have less money and less time. So it seems that we would be appealed to chaos.
Yeah, absolutely. So I want to label this thing, and we're going to talk a lot about labeling, and we're going to talk a bit about anger management, emotional
Mhm.
intelligence. We've got a lot to unpack in 10 minutes flat, okay? And I want to do this with you guys today. So bear with me. I promise to leave you better than we found you. In fact, we both do. And thank you, Joe, for going through this with me today.
Speed run. Let's make it happen. I love it.
In our roadmap for electricians to prosper and really break through from the 6-figure to that multiple 7-figure journey and be able to graduate our program and be attractive to the bigger things like Service Titans and the Next Stars and everything that we help electricians with on this journey, we see 5 things in the business that really this breaks down to, where this big dark cloud that can amass could be attributable to these 5 areas. Is it okay if we go through those?
Yeah, by all means.
You may be an electrician today who's dealing with, it's April, right? So around tax season, you may be dealing with low leads. So marketing is one of these 5 areas, and it's a big one. You may be someone who's asking yourself or having us ask you if you're on the calls with us or our team, is it really the leads, or is it we're not making enough of the leads because we don't have a great service process or sales process, as it were, and as you teach so eloquently, Joe?
Thank you very much for the kindness.
Is it that we're still answering the phone, and so we're overwhelmed by the leads that do come in, timely as it may be, even though we need leads, we're trying to focus on a customer in front of us, and this inbound and the office stuff and all these extra hats where we're not the expert, the administrative, the invoicing, the following up, the unsold, the inbound calls, all of that stuff could be adding up and forming some of this dark cloud. Would you agree?
I mean, we've personally been there. And I remember being in those situations when I first started business and being like, I'm the installer and the salesperson and the operations manager and the parts orderer and the CSR. And you wear like a Doug Dimmadome hat where it's like all the way up. It's ridiculous, you know? So I get it.
What did you call that?
Oh, please tell me you know that reference. Doug Dimmadome, owner of the Dimsdale Dimmadome. It's a whole meme. Don't worry about it.
I don't know what this
I'm sure if
is.
someone's listening to it, I'm making someone laugh. No worries. Maybe an American thing. It's all good.
All right. All right. And then there's this ever-present desire to grow the team. Well, why? Because maybe you're the only electrician or you don't have enough people to do the work. You need someone to help you do service calls. You need someone to help you do sales or estimating, whatever you're calling it at this point. Maybe some of that is still anchored in larger projects, and the projects keep taking you from the service game. And so the smaller customers are being strained, and you're being strained and stretched thin. So there's this team development side that's hard. And I mean, who's having an easy time finding skilled trades in 2025?
No, it's not that you can just go to the trade school and knock on the door and walk out with a handful of apprentices. There's a lot of stuff and a lot of factors at play now.
And then there's this big, glorious crown. And the weight of this thing is crushing us. And if you've ever thought to yourself or said to yourself or heard us say and thought, gosh, that's me, I'm the biggest bottleneck in my company, then there's this person, and that person is you. And the development of you is actually what the company and the family and your own personal health all rely on. And we just get stuck. And one of the worst terms I've ever heard around this that I just hated to look into at all points of my journey until I realized how important this was and how I had to master it is what we call time management.
Mm-hmm. I'm right there with you.
And if you've ever dealt with any of these pains, please, wherever you're listening to us first, be it your favorite podcast channel or following us on Facebook or YouTube, please leave us a comment and let us know right now which of those hats, which of those 5 buckets, rather, are weighing you down. And if it's a combination of them, you're not alone. In fact, it seems to be the combination that creates the dark cloud. So I have an expression for you, Joe.
I'm for it. I love your expressions.
It's really a question, and I think you know this one. How do you eat an elephant?
Well, I break out the fork and a knife and do it one bite at a time.
One bite at a time. Absolutely. And I recently heard this from someone else, and I love this analogy of, you know what? Let's just face it, there's a wall here. And that dark cloud is right over this wall. And everything that we want is on the other side of this wall. But the only thing is, we can't just travel around the wall. Think of it like the Great Wall of China. And everything we want is on the other side. Do you have a good visual with me?
I'm hearing Pink Floyd's Another Brick of the Wall in the background. Like that's what I'm
Nice.
hearing, you know?
Nice. Well, on the other side of this wall, what you hear is still a Pink Floyd track, but it's called Money. Like
Oh
that?
my
You like
God. All right. I
that?
love this.
But here's the thing, what most of us are doing with all these hats, what that really represents is we've started building a marketing ladder to get over the wall. But then we started building a sales ladder to get up over this wall. And then we started building an office ladder to start handling our leads in a better way there and to deal with all the administrative stuff to get over this wall. And we started building a team development ladder to recruit someone to come and help us build the ladders to get over this wall. And then we started building our own ladder. And maybe you got a family ladder or health ladder there too, or multiple. The thing is, all you have at first is the side rails. And if you think of that like your vision, like your intent to overcome this wall, that's all it is at first. So we've got this dark cloud and we've got all these side rails up to climb this wall, but no rungs. See, the rungs take intention. And what most of us are doing is going ladder by ladder, one rung at a time. We put a rung over here, and then we put a rung over here, and then we put a rung in the marketing, and then we put a rung in the sales. But the problem is, without greater focus, those one rungs on each ladder don't get us over the wall for any of those problems. Does that make sense, brother?
It really does. And it's a shame because, like, we'll see people doing this where they know that they need more sales. But instead of going and getting more leads or working on their process, they go fix their price book. And it's like, I'm working on the thing that I think will solve this problem. But if I took one step back, I'd realize I'm going in the wrong direction. And instead, I should focus on what gets me back in the door or what helps me convert instead of just what I use to price things.
100%. Really good example, too. So the same thing happens in emotional buildup and anger. This is why if you guys have ever done anger management or any level of emotional training or therapy, you're probably familiar with this. If you haven't, highly recommend it because they say emotional intelligence is one of the leading indicators of a winning combination in business and leadership, right? So one of the first things we have to do is just acknowledge where we are. Yes, there's a dark cloud. Yes, this thing's an elephant. There's a wall. I need to get it on the other side of the wall so I can feel better about everything that's happening. Sound easy so far?
Yeah, I'm with you.
But then take these buckets and just start to label things and separate them. Because if it's one dark cloud, I promise you guys, this is failing the law of open cycles and you're not going to be able to do anything. The law of open cycles says that those things left undone, all these ladders that are incomplete, are actually robbing our livelihood. Go ahead, brother.
You know, you just inspired me to say something because I made a personal change in my own life that I feel directly applies to this and helps give some people some context. Is it okay if I make a quick parallel
Yeah,
to it?
please do.
Awesome. So I'm a list guy. I love lists. I love organization. I love knowing exactly what it is. But I was burning myself out because I had a personal list that didn't have any separation to it. It was everything made the list. And because everything made the list, I was trying to do all the things in equal order of priorities. And because of that, I wasn't making the progress because I was trying to do so many different things. So simply shifting the list to have tos, helpfuls, and seasonals made an immense amount of difference because I can look at something and say, all right, before I go to bed, what was the have to? What needed to get done that I either need to eat crow on, burn the midnight oil, or delegate away? And if it's not a have to, then I can instead take the time to focus on health and family because those things will let me come back the next morning to be better at the list. Does that make sense?
Absolutely, it does. And really good input there.
Thank you.
So what I'm about to do then is I'm going to help you guys coach your damn selves through this as promised. But first, I wanted to inject a win of the week, and I'm going to make you wait for these couple important questions on how to dissect this or how to get someone else. If you need someone else, which we often do, then share this episode with them, have them listen to it, and ask you the questions for you. I promise it will help. Win of the week here we've got for the podcast. Will Goldman said, I'm on cloud nine right now. Gave a customer a price to consolidate a main sub into 160 space. Total came to $4,800. He called me back to express that other quotes were $2,000 cheaper. Was curious to know why. Will here took great advantage of his value articulation training and said, look, the lifetime craftsmanship guarantee actually sealed the deal for him. He asked that customer to call around and see who else could match his level of service. The customer was unable to and was very happy to move forward with William as a result. So congratulations, brother. That's a great win.
I love that. That lifetime guarantee can be so transformative to your customers because it's the thought of saying, I'm so confident that you're going to be satisfied that I'll put my name on this for life. Anyone else willing to do that? No? Okay, so how'd you like to proceed?
Absolutely. Great win. Congrats again. So to wrap this up in just a quick few minutes here, brother, we need you to take this dark cloud and begin to label, just like we label emotions. I want you to label the buckets that these things live in. Because a bottleneck actually builds up. It's like traffic 4 lanes wide going into a 2-lane bridge. We need to identify your top lane or two that you need to clear up so that more traffic can come in. If we clear the wrong lanes, we only make more room in the 4-lane and the bridge doesn't actually move traffic any faster. Does that make sense?
It does. In fact, actually even the worst direction. Could you imagine if you open up another lane that lets more people get to the bridge faster and just adds to more congestion? You thinking you're doing the right thing actually puts you further behind the ball.
And here's the way to figure that out. Just ask yourself, okay, if leads are the problem or a problem, well, what would happen if I took action on getting more leads following a resource like SLE's marketing resource? If I got more leads, well, what would happen then? If your answer to that question is, well, I wouldn't be able to service them anyway because our process is actually not going well and our conversion rate is so low, that wouldn't move the ball forward. Okay, let's move to the next bucket. If I improved my process in sales and service and I was able to increase my conversion and average ticket, well, what would happen then? If your answer to this is, well, I don't have any leads, so there's no one to practice or do this on, then obviously this wouldn't free the bridge up. You've got to go back to leads. Do you see this process, Joe? We're just going through and asking the logical question about how we feel, which seems emotional, but really it's how you feel about, will that present a better situation than where I'm at? And then just rate these darn things and work on them one bite at a time. Build that ladder, climb this wall, overcome your conflict. And if you want help deciding which of those things are the thing to work on, that's the exact reason why our team, in fact, our partner Austin, does these free strategy calls with electricians 5 days a week. In fact, he's on 5 calls today right now, helping electricians sort out what that biggest problem is and leaving you better than we found you, just like we promised to do on this podcast. What feedback do you have on that one, Joe?
At the end of the day, I just want people to know that when they invest in themselves, it can feel very scary, right? You don't know what the next step is. But sometimes being willing to say, I know that I invest in myself, there's only the ability that it can't get taken from me. If I do the thing for me, there will only be a positive outcome to this. Even if I can't see which ladder or which bucket it fills, if you have no direction, put it into yourself and it will still move something forward in a positive direction.
Great stuff. And it's been a great episode. We had a ton of fun with you guys. I got to go fly a plane, so we got to run. However, guys, wherever you heard this first or where you prefer to hear us, listen to our podcast, The Million Dollar Electrician, please do leave us a review, subscribe to us on YouTube, follow us on our Facebook group, Million Dollar Electrician. And guess what? Our app is so close to being released. And for just the price of a coffee a month, you're going to have unlimited access to all these great tools that we talk about in here, as well as a community of like-minded service electricians who are trying to rise the tide with us and with you guys. Have a wonderful week, and we'll see you here back again next week.
Be blessed. Can't wait to see you then.
And that's a wrap for today's episode of the Million Dollar Electrician Podcast.
We hope you're buzzing with new ideas that charged up to take your business to the next level.
So don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share the show with fellow electricians. Together, we'll keep the current flowing.